I have been calm, cool, and collected, and I have kept my mouth shut too long about this. I've tried to be even keel. I've tried to lay low, not say something about it, but I gotta speak up. I'm tired of it, and I'm almost to the point where I'm feeling guilty not addressing it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is yet again in the past 2 days another 5-star recruit that has pretty much sabotaged their own collegiate career. Man, it just hit me. Christmas is officially over, and it feels so weird to me because it also feels like it was Thanksgiving a week ago, but yet here we are. I don't know what it is. Please let me know in the comment section. I can't be the only one who feels like this time of the year, it always flies by so fast. And I think a big reason for that is because people like me and you, we're big time college football fans, and we all know this. Anytime you like doing something or you're enjoying something, it goes by within the blink of an eye. That's besides the point. Anyways, moving along here, in tonight's video, yeah, I'm not going to make a lot of people happy. Hey, that's okay. We currently live in one of the softest societies and generations of all time. It is now frowned upon to tell somebody the truth if it's going to quote-unquote hurt their feelings. Me, however, I don't care. I'm still saying how it is. To put it into a better perspective, if a guy who's overweight, about 350 pounds, 5'10", comes up to me and asks if he's fat, I'm going to look him dead in the eyes and say, yeah, man, you're fat. You need to go to the gym and work on your health. And I get it. Some people are going to say, well, Matt, dang, you're being pretty harsh. And yes, I am. There's a reason for it. Because what if that 350 pound, 5'10" person comes up to me and says, hey, Matt, am I fat? And I say, no, you look good, man. Well, in that case and scenario, yeah, I'm not going to hurt his feelings, and he may smile then and there, but it's going to hurt him in the long run because he doesn't feel like he needs to work on anything. You see what I'm saying? I'm the good guy for telling the fat person, yeah, you're fat and you need to get in the gym, but everyone tries to make me look like the bad guy. And no, that doesn't blatantly happen. I don't call people fat or anything. That's just an example. Let me give you an even better example, and we'll get a move on. This one actually happened to me not too long ago. I was planning to meet up with some friends. We was going to go to a restaurant and go out to eat, and one of the friends, when we got to the restaurant, he had a booger hanging out of his nose. And very politely and subtly, not in front of everybody, I pulled him aside and was like, hey man, you got a little booger hanging from your nose. It was no big deal whatsoever. Didn't make a scene out of it. Yeah, was it kind of awkward telling him? Yes, but I'm not going to let my friend walk around with a booger hanging out of his nose. That's not the type of friend I am, and the reason I bring it up is because he met up with me with one of our other mutual friends, and that mutual friend, he didn't even tell him. And I asked him about it. I said, dude, did you not see that booger hanging from his nose on the way here in the car or when you got out of the car? And he's like, yeah, I just didn't want to be that guy to say something. That's not just 2022 for you. That is how most people act and operate. That's 98% of people. Once again, was it kind of awkward telling him to wipe his nose? Yeah, it was. But in the long run, I helped him out. Short term, yeah, he might have been a little embarrassed I brought it up. But long term wise, he would have been more embarrassed if he walked around with that and people were laughing at him. That's why I encourage not being a-hole. There's a way to go about things, but to always tell the truth. And just like they say, I'm sure many of you have heard this quote, the truth hurts. It does hurt, but guess what? We need to hear it. Anyways, I say all that to lead me into this. I have been calm, cool, and collected, and I have kept my mouth shut too long about this. I've tried to be even keel. I've tried to lay low, not say something about it, but I gotta speak up. I'm tired of it, and I'm almost to the point where I'm feeling guilty not addressing it. In the class of 2020, there was a young man, and a special young man at that went by the name of Arik Gilbert. Yes, I understand it looks like Arik Gilbert, but it is pronounced Eric, like with an E. If you don't listen to a single other part, please listen to this one. He was he was the highest ranked tight end ever in recruiting history. He's the #1 highest ranked tight end of all time, not top 5, top 10, top 15, #1. To go along with that, not only was he the top tight end recruit of all time, he was the #5 national overall player. For those of you that don't know, that's insane. Tight ends, you rarely even see him in the top 20 of the national rankings, and he was in the top 5. The dude is a flat out beast, and as crazy as these rankings are, it made sense. He was 6'5", 250. It's self-explanatory. Big, strong, fast, elite, athletic, great at everything. There's a reason he's the #1 tight end recruit of all time. You get all that, and to make a really long story short, he winds up going to LSU. And in 2020 at LSU, he did good, and you saw the potential. In only 8 games played, had 35 catches, 350 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It wasn't bad at all. Once again, let me make this clear. Only played 8 games in LSU. They struggled that season. However, this is a young man who's been the top dog. He's been the alpha male. He's been the king of his castle. Everybody's praised him. So to only have 350 receiving yards, it wasn't enough. And it's reminded me a lot, and I don't want to compare these guys person for person, but of the Agiye Hall situation we talked about last night. It almost seems like for all of these kids nowadays, if there's one minor inconvenience, they're gone. I think as a man, not so much for females, but as a man, a vital part of this life is going through adversity because it's almost like a battle scar and wound. You as a man have to go through multiple battles, sometimes 10 to 15 battles throughout your life to become and mold into the man you will be one day. It is vital for us men to go through that, and I cannot emphasize that enough. We have to go through many trials and tribulations, and I firmly believe that. Although as a man, do I want to go through trials and tribulations? Absolutely not, but it's what we need. Not what we want, but what we need. Your true character is revealed through tough times and adversity. So if you never have to go through those, what are you going to be? I think you know where I'm going with this. Arik Gilbert wasn't a big fan of everything happening at LSU. He didn't like the direction of the program, or for whatever reason, he enters a transfer portal. I talked about this over a year ago, and Georgia fans, they ate my lunch, and they said I was an idiot and yada, yada, yada. Well, let me put this out there. In 2021, he didn't even play, and recently in this year, currently, 2022, plays for Georgia. He was practicing with Georgia last year, but there's just off-the-field stuff going on. He didn't play. The thing I said last year, and I tried telling Georgia fans is, Arik Gilbert, he wasn't going to play. I told Georgia fans this. I don't care that he's 6'5", 250. I don't care that he's big, strong, fast, athletic, elite. I don't care that he's the #1 player in high school football. He will not play. And there was only one logical answer as to why I believed that. Because Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers was already there. Arik Gilbert, I respect you and you were awesome in high school, but you're no Brock Bowers. You're not going to play over him. And to go on top of that, Darnell Washington, you're not going to play over him either. And with Darnell Washington being the backup to Brock Bowers, where are you going to find playing time? The bottom line is, you're not going to find playing time. Therefore, you're going to be a bench warmer. If you don't want to believe me, this season, Arik Gilbert had 2 catches for 16 yards and 1 touchdown. That's it. I say all this to say this. He wasn't happy with how things were going at LSU, and he had 35 catches and 300 yards. So how do you think he feels right now? In the past 2 years, not 1, but 2 years, he's had 2 catches. And remember, why did he make this decision? Because he wasn't happy with his role at LSU. He wanted more. You see, that's the thing in life. It's not bad to want more, but sometimes, yeah, it can be. In this life, you're going to learn this. Everybody falls victim to this. We want more and more and more. It's never enough. To all my guys in high school, trust me, I've been there. You're talking to 5 girls at one time. You want to talk to that 6th girl. You want to get that 6th girl's number. People that work every day. We make $1,000? Well, that ain't enough. I want $1,500. Well, it's another great example. Oh, yeah, when people go fishing, you go, man, I just want to catch a fish. You catch that first fish, and you're like, well, dang, I want to catch another one. I could go on and on. You get the point. We want more. It's human nature. Nothing wrong with it. But at a certain point, when are these young athletes, these young men, going to come to the realization that if I just stick it out and go through this adversity, it might be better? I guarantee you, I promise you, if Arik Gilbert would have stuck it out at LSU through the tough times, he'd be a star football player. He'd be a star. He'd probably have over 1,000 receiving yards currently as to when we're speaking. As much as Georgia loves their tight ends, LSU likes throwing the ball to them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is yet again in the past 2 days another 5-star recruit that has pretty much sabotaged their own collegiate career. It's rather simple. They didn't want to wait their turn. That's all there is to it. You have to be patient in this life. Arik Gilbert and Agiye Hall, both 5-star players, if they would have stuck it out at LSU and Alabama, they'd probably be stars. I'm not guaranteeing they'd be stars, but I'll guarantee you this, they'd be doing way better than they currently are now. And I also feel like if you ask them the question if they could redo things, they probably would. But now, Mr. Agiye Hall, Mr. Arik Gilbert, you're in the transfer portal, and a lot of people had this misconception about it. A lot of these guys that enter this transfer portal, they're not getting phone calls left and right. I talked to these guys. About 35-40% of them that enter the portal, they're just sitting in it. Nobody's calling or texting them. Why is that? Because you're old news. These college coaches, they're going after these stars in high school. They don't want a guy that can't stay out of school for more than 1 to 2 years. And I don't care what any of you say. This is just sad to me, and I'm wishing him the best of luck, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, man. When are you going to go through some adversity? Why don't you stick it out out of school? I've kept my mouth shut too long about this, and let me make this clear. This isn't just a message about Arik Gilbert, Agiye Hall. It's more so to do with all ththese 4- and 5-star recruits. All these guys that are about to be on their 3rd or 4th team is way too much. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts down below, but